And welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Nancy White, the Healthy Sales Chick, the host of this show. And I just have an amazing dear friend that I love so much, and that is Paula Fellingham. And she is always welcoming all of us and everybody, or always, especially ladies around the world, with open arms and an open heart. But I just have a quick little question for you. This show is the Healthy Sales Chick Show, and we talk about our healthy mind, our body, and our spirit. And we really need to nurture all three areas every single day, or one of those areas are going to start letting us know about it. So I just want to just mention to you, are your cells happy and healthy from head to toe? Maybe they just need a little refreshing makeover. We all do sometimes, but we have all these amazing guests that come to share their expertise, and we're going to be learning tips, suggestions, things that help us to maintain, and there's that word, maintain. That means working at it, to maintain that healthy mind, body, and spirit. But everything always starts in this amazing computer, our mind. Today, I am so excited. We have a special guest, Sophea McMorris, and she is the executive wisdom mentor and coach. I bet you don't hear about many of those, but we're going to learn so many amazing things from Sophea. And our topic is self-mastery, where you take control of your life and create the life you love. And we're going to also talk about mindset, heart belief, and self-image, and how all those things do affect our healthy mind, body, and spirit. But Sophea, welcome. I'm so grateful that you're here with us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Nancy.
Oh, well, I'm going to share just a little bit about Sophea because she definitely has a very long list of credits, but we want to hear really from her in her heart, which she has an incredible heart. But Sophea's expertise is teaching people the art, and it's an art of self-mastery. And she has also been known around the world as an executive wisdom mentor, CEO and founder of Wisdom Speaks Life. She also specializes in using wisdom to help people master and take control of their lives. Don't you sometimes feel like we all have, our lives are sort of out of control? Well, she's going to help us with some ideas and tips on how to reel it back in. But her whole heart and goal is to help others to create a life that they love. Sophea also teaches and trains high performers and professionals and entrepreneurs in the art of self-mastery, which again is self-leadership. I can remember telling my brothers, I'm the boss of me. Yeah, I was really the leader of me. But self-leadership makes you an effective leader and influences your thinking, your feelings, and your actions. And you can also step into being the CEO of your life and the life that you really want to have on your terms. Her clients hire her to help them create and implement their one-page secret success strategy plan. We're going to find out more about that too, secret. And just to expand their power and for an integrated, harmonious, fulfilling life. I know she almost sounds too good to be true, but she's really an amazing woman. And not only does she have so many other credits, she also has her show on Win-Win Women. And she has a weekly show that we're going to learn about more. But I have to tell you that this woman also has fabulous eyebrows, which I just love, but she also loves quotes. That's one of the most fun things when I was listening to her shows, all the different quotes. And I bet we're going to hear some quotes. I might even have a couple. But again, welcome, Sophea. I'm so grateful that you're here with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Oh, well, again, she is all about quotes and having great information and things that she loves to bring forth to other people. And so I found a quote at the wisdom is the ability to transform knowledge into good judgment and excellent discernment. And that's by Cyrus. I'm going to read it again because it goes right along with this woman. Wisdom is the ability to transform knowledge into good judgment and excellent discernment. So, Sophia, really, what influenced you to develop this career for yourself?
Well, my story begins with struggling for years with my weight. So I kept going around the mountain is what I call it, and not really making progress up over the mountain. So I was, I would do, 3 months out of the year, I would do some form of fasting, cleanse, detox, diet, exercise combinations. And I would lose 50 pounds. And then I would start a party after that, and it would last for the rest of the year. And then I'd get to December and realize that I was back where I started, and then with extra. So after years and years and years of doing that same pattern yearly, I decided I need to do something different. So I signed up for weight loss surgery, and then waited 6 months for my surgery date, and I didn't get one. And I felt so disheartened. I was just like, I was so upset. I called the lady. I was like, that's it. I think if I had done something, I would at least have lost 50 pounds by now. So I'm going to go try one more of my things one more time, and then we'll see. And she says, well, I wish you luck. And I said, okay, thank you. So then I sat down one day, and I was so, just distressed over this whole situation. And I sat down to meditate. And when I sat down, I read a quote, and you'll probably be familiar with it, Nancy. And it says, beloved, I wish above all things that thou would prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prosper. And so for the first time, after reading that so many times before and hearing it, I was like, wait a minute. What's my soul? What's my soul's prosperity? And how can this prosper my soul? And how can this help me to lose weight and keep it up? And so I went in on a self-discovery journey, and then started focusing on discovering what's my soul and my soul's prosperity. And I discovered it wrapped in self-mastery. And so at the end of that, and it's not even the end of that, but at some point I woke up and looked up, and then I had discovered that I had released 100 pounds. And I was just like, oh my God, I now need to tell everybody that I have found the secret. I know what you need to do in order to be able to move your life forward. And so that started me on the journey of this self-mastery mindset and all of those things. And after that, I got certified as a professional life coach. And I was just like, I need to tell everybody. And I know that there'll be some people that won't listen to me because I don't have the certification. So I was like, I'm getting the piece of paper, and then I'm telling you.
And truly, though, they come and you are teaching them. They really don't. I don't think that they really care so much about your paper, but it is exactly what you have discovered and that you share, and that's the main thing. So, but continue on. So then,
So then I started telling people. And one of the things, after that, I was writing people like beautiful vision statements, and then they would be like, oh, this is so amazing, this is great. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, good. And so I meet with them a couple weeks later. I say, how are you doing with your vision statement? And they would go, I'm like, what do you mean?
that's not a word.
Right. I was just like, wait a minute, this is what you said you wanted. And they were like, yes, that's what I said I wanted. But why are you not, participating, practicing it, reviewing it, reading it every day? And then they couldn't really give an explanation. And I think that was because they didn't really understand what was happening. See, 95% of our lives are lived in the subconscious mind, and only 5% are lived consciously. So that 5% is what wants certain things or has a desire to do certain things. But the 95% of you is not backing up or supporting that 5% of what you want. So my question became, how do we get the 95% of us to be in support of that 5% of what we want? And that is our heart beliefs, your mindset, going through that whole process and realizing what the issue is, and then creating a foundation. It's sort of like if you have a house and you don't have a firm foundation, then you're going to have problem at some point. And you're going to get to a certain place and you're going to realize that the progress had stopped because we can't move forward. And so that was what was hindering people from really taking the step in even reading the that vision statement that they said they wanted. So I created the back end of my course. So I have the secret success strategy, and then after that is the part that addresses the change that needs to be made in in yourself in order to be able to have what you want.
Wow, Sophia, that's amazing that, when you discover it and, and it becomes second nature to you by now. I mean, this is just part of you because this is the work and development that you have done for yourself.
Yeah.
And sometimes we come across people and they don't believe, they have that limiting belief that they also can be successful and achieve the things just like you do or other people. So when you come across some of those challenges, and I think, the majority of people feel that way because we've been so programmed, we've heard so many things. So you take it step by step. And so share just a little bit what happens when, again, you discover that and you have to go back to the why. But if their why is not attached to the heart and that real desire and that love, what are some things that you have to work on, and how long does it take some people?
I mean, transformation is ongoing. So that's like the first, the first thing. It's not ever that you have arrived at a destination. You are on a journey. And so that is a process that you have to be able to give yourself a lot of grace while you navigate. So some people want it to be a quick fix, but it's not. It's a lot of self-reflection. That's one of the first things that you have to do is when you find yourself at a particular place, is to be willing to do that self-reflection and then locate yourself and then make a decision, accept where you are, and then make a decision to change, which is the next course of action. Once you have that awareness that there is a problem that you want to fix.
Mm-hmm. And that mindset, I mean, I really believe, even for myself, the renewing of the mind, it is just like you said, it's ongoing. It's not a once and done. It's just like every single day we get to go through the releasing and the receiving and the renewing. And so what is one of the things that you feel, especially with women, because sometimes they feel embarrassed, sometimes they feel like, I don't want to let anybody know about my weaknesses. I'd rather suffer in silence. Do you come across that at all?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of the, even before we get to like the weaknesses, because that we can kind of cover up. But I think there is that underlying that says, I'm not good enough. And that's where the self-image is affected, because where the self-image is all about how you see yourself. And to the degree that you see yourself in a positive light means that you be willing to step into taking on challenges. Like if you have a weakness and you decide that you want it to become a part of your strength instead of a weakness, then you'll be more active in stepping into that and then being able to work on it and changing it. But it's less likely that if you have this negative thinking or image about myself, that I'm not capable, I don't have the abilities, the skill, the talent, I'm just not good enough for all this task or whatever that's set before me, then you're going to just stand there. You're not going to move. You're not going to attempt to to take the next step that will help to move you forward.
Do you find in your career too, in your experience, what is one of the things, I mean, because we have a lot of, we used to call it luggage, the things that have been to us, the things that, we've gone through in life, or even previous people in our lives, and we might not have even known about some things that have just sort of been carried on. And this is just the way life is. And, we don't deserve anything else. We don't deserve, whatever, you fill in the blanks. So when you are in your past, what you've come across, a lot of that, how difficult is it for, again, just like you said, that self-reflection for people? Do they have to get to a hurting point? Everybody says about pain points. Do you ever find somebody that just really wants to be as preventative as possible? Or is it mainly that they've reached a pain point?
Well, I mean, it's a combination. I mean, for me, oh, I am addressing all the issues. I'm praying to God and I'm saying, please show me if there's something that is blocking me from what it is that I desire. I want you to reveal it to me, and I'm ready to get on it and fix it and take care of it and move forward. While there are some people that they're not aware, and I think awareness is key.
Mhm.
Because sometimes when we are in a place of, well, that's just how it is, this is all there is, and that's it. When we're in that mindset, then we stay there, and we don't necessarily realize. And I think when we can have goals and dreams, that may now start to shape. It starts to kind of pull us in that direction of where we might be like, okay, I want to achieve, let's say it was the weight loss, and
Mhm.
I'm not getting where I want to go. So I'm like, why am I keep hitting up against this blocks? Like after, 500 years, which is what it felt like.
You're not that old. Yeah.
After all of those years, then I'm finally saying now, well, wait a minute, what, it must be a problem. And again, I'm seeking an outside solution for an inside problem. And so that's a lot of what goes on. So when I talk to people, I'm like, I have experienced it. So this is why I know I can help you, because I've been there. And I've been to that place where, I recognized that I wasn't deserving. I didn't feel like I was worthy and deserving. People would say, oh, well, you deserve. And I was just like, no, 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 I don't, and it's part of it too is
Mhm.
understanding what the words mean. I mean, so there are different things that can trigger people to now take that step into the transformation. And sometimes it has to be that they get to that place where they're at a breaking point.
Yeah.
And then, that's enough. That's the thing that says, okay, now I'm going to do something different because it's not working for me.
Mhm. And sometimes it does spill over, especially if you have family or a spouse or whatever. It's not just all about you. There's
Mhm.
things that are going on, and that spills over into other people's lives, and it affects them also.
Right.
Um, I love this quote by Oprah Winfrey, and she said, "Turn your wounds into wisdom." And that is painful. It's not easy, because
Yes, yes.
that means that wounds, they have scars, and sometimes they have scabs, and sometimes they're still raw. And so everybody goes through that process, especially a healing process. Um, and women are just, I don't know, again, I've come across a lot of women over the last 20 plus years. I've been working with them. And you could say, you look so pretty today. And they would just immediately that, oh, this whole thing or whatever, instead of just going, thank you, and receiving it. And
Right.
so we're always putting up, that wall of something instead of just listening and receiving, and then, responding in a good positive way. So when
Right.
you come across some real challenges, you go for the mindset first and foremost. And then after you're helping with that, Sophia, how do you really get into the heart belief? And I know it's a process and it's different for everybody.
Mhm. Well, the thing that happens, I feel like mindset and hard beliefs are connected.
Okay.
So we have, our thinking, our feelings, our actions, and
Mhm.
our actions doesn't really occur without the heart belief, because the
Mhm.
heart belief always moves us to action. And so we have to get down there and, it's like plant the seeds. And sometimes when we try, because, as you mentioned before, like some people are still like resistance to it. But when we, let's say, plant the seed, and like us having a conversation here is a planting of the seed. So if somebody hears it, the seed word, that transmit life goes out and it gets planted, but sometimes it doesn't even get all the way down to get to the heart. So it gets planted, it gets plucked up before that, because we have a will. And depending on where you are in your subconscious mind and your thinking and believing, you're going to say, nope, I refuse that right away, and immediately gets spits out. And whereas, somebody else might say, they have a good point, I'm going to think about that. And they might start thinking about it. But then when they start trying to plan it, it comes up against so much pain and so much different, backlash and other things and beliefs, other worries and cares, and say, if you do that, well, it's not going to work out for you, because I don't know why, and then you just so much resistance comes up. And then you just say, well, it's not a good thing. I should just leave it alone. It's just not for me. I'm just not gonna, have that, in my life. So it's a lot of those kind of things that occurs. And then once you get the seed where it's planted in the heart, now the struggle begins to be able to have it start growing and to grow to that healthy thing where you now can start, getting moved to actions and start living from there.
Yeah. Now I think I heard two different things too. So many people go into the what ifs, and but what if it does work? What if it is
right?
And and everything that we're nurturing everything, and it's either in that positive or in that negative realm too.
Yes,
So when you talk about that seed, what are you going to nurture that seed with so that it can grow and continually, mature and evolve and bear fruit? It's something when you were talking, Sophia, it just made me laugh inside, because some people are so resistant to change. They get in their routines, they get everything, and they're comfortable, they're content, and I can bless and release a lot of people too. When they just
yes,
they're not BNR,
right.
but those people that really do want to change, I think it's so much fun. It's like, asking me, so Nancy, do you want to wear the same pair of shoes every single day? Or would you like to change and put on these really pretty green, comfortable shoes today? When you talk about change, and, a lot of women can relate to, changing your clothes, changing your
Yes.
shoes, changing your jewelry,
Right.
how important it is we do all these changes on the outside.
Right.
What about the changes on the inside?
Right. And I think that is the key, because a lot of people aren't willing to go there. They're more willing, and like I was willing to do all the things on the outside. I was willing to exercise. I was willing to, eat, or not eat. I have one apple and some chicken broth and go through that process. I was willing to do that. I was willing to, go through the surgery and everything like that, instead of doing the work on the inside. And so there had to be a big like discovery or unfolding that occurred within myself. One of the things I remember, one day I sat down, and I don't know if I was getting ready to eat something, but I heard a voice say, and I like to say that was God, said, do you know why you like sweets? And I was just like, no. And then it said, it's because you want people to be sweet to you. And so that was my start of self-discovery for self-love. Because I wanted a certain amount of nurturing, I would, have challenges, and then I would say, well, let me grab a brownie pie, or let me grab a big bowl of cereal, and I would eat those things to comfort myself. And I would almost like crunch my way into, till I felt better, instead of really just taking some time to, practice self-love for myself. So I like to say, a lot of times I talk about this, self-love and self-care are two different things. And I see self-care as being more of that outside, solution to the inward problem, because a lot of us will do outside things. We'll go for a walk, we'll eat healthy, we'll do all of these things, but we won't necessarily do the inner work of self, to have self-love, like having self-compassion, kindness, empathy for ourselves. we don't talk to ourselves. We beat ourselves up when we make a mistake. We punish ourselves. We do, I know that I used to do that. I used to say, if I ate brownie pie, then I would say, now that's it. You have to do hard exercise and you don't get to eat. I would punish myself. So I certainly wasn't in that place of self-love. But once I discovered that, I was able to then start nurturing myself, talking to myself in a positive way, just like I would comfort a friend who had made a mistake and did the wrong thing, and I would comfort her and let her know it was okay and that, she's loved. I had to go through the process of forgiving myself and all of those things, and understanding what my own journey, and recognize that other people were going through same things, and then being kind to myself. So that's where self-care is born from, self-love. There are two different things. And so that's how I refer to them. I understand that sometimes people say self-care, but they also mean self-love. But I like to have the distinction, because I think they're two separate things, but one is born from the other one, because you're being kind and you're forgiving yourself and you're doing all of those things to take care of yourself on the inside. Then it's natural steps to then doing stuff for yourself on the outside as well.
I love the way you explain that, because I do promote, the healthy mind, body, and spirit, as part of our our healthy lifestyle. But our healthy lifestyle, just like you said, really can be involved even more so with that self-love. And sometimes people will glean over that really fast. But I love the way that you have gone over, Sophia, and explained it even more in depth. And I can relate to that also. And just, you and I have a lot of things in common. I mean, I've stayed 6 sizes down for 16 years. And again, through, that healthy mind, body, and spirit, and that self-love. For myself, I'm helping to take care of these temporary temples until we get our permanent maintenance free one. But it's still needs to be fireproof.
Yes, I heard you say that the other day. I watched one of your videos and I heard you say that, and I was like, yes.
But it is. So tell us. So I cannot believe how fast our time has gone by.
Oh my goodness!
You back again. So we got some more time. But tell us what's up for you next, and we want to know a little bit more about the secret. The
secret success strategy plan. Well, what that is it's almost like a slight overview, but it goes into where you answer some questions and really create a plan for your life. But also with that is a commitment to actually following through with what it is that you've said. And I think a lot of times that we don't have that commitment with it. We can create different things, but we're not committed to really fulfilling our desires. So that's where we have to get into, changing the way we think about things, changing the way we feel, changing the actions that we would even take, and allowing that vision plan to now become a part of us. It's our affirmation, it's our mantra, it's our go-to when we're having not so good a day, it's our go-to when we're having a great day, and some of the things that we're believing for or manifesting and everything like that.
I love it. So how can ladies get in touch with you, or anybody? What's the best way for someone to get in touch with you, Sophia?
Well, they can go to calendly.com/Sophea Speaks Wisdom, and that's SOPHEIA Speaks Wisdom.
I love it. And next time you come on, we're going to talk about how fun your name is and where it came from. This is a fun quote from Greg Anderson. It says, "Let us be about setting high standards for life, love, creativity, and wisdom. If our expectations in these areas are low, we are not likely to experience wellness. Setting high standards makes every day and every decade worth looking forward to." And that is exactly what you help people to do, Sophia. I just admire you so much in the work that you're doing and sewing into other people's lives. And again, I would just really encourage you to go to the Win-Win Women community, this amazing group of women. Find Sophia's shows. She has amazing information. You will just binge watch. But anyways, I encourage you just to, again, join us the next time for more support for your healthy mind, body, and spirit. And contact me. I love hearing from you. And I love doing a complimentary 30-minute, it's all about you session. And then again, Sophia, thank you so much for your amazing time and your sharing. I'm so grateful for you blessing us today.
Thank you so much for having me.